Hey everybody, welcome to the Happier Attorney, the channel where we talk about attorneys and flat fees and attorneys and mindset. And today we're going to be talking about the Friday win. So in the Facebook group, Attorneys and Flat Fees, we have every Friday morning, we have what was your win for the week or wins for the week. And I started this off 5.5 years ago when I started the channel, the Facebook group. And it was just a way to celebrate the win of the week, because I know that for myself as an attorney of nearly 30 years, I didn't. Something big would happen and like before it was even over, I'm on to the next thing. And so I thought, well, maybe other attorneys would have the same issue. And they did. I thought attorneys might think it was a little corny to do. People loved it. Attorneys love it. And I really realized just how little we celebrate ourselves and our accomplishments and our wins and how necessary it was. So what it is it's really simple. Every Friday, we just post, here's the win for the week. Here's some wins. And certainly not everybody does it, but a lot of people do it. And here's why it's so important. When we are achievers, most of the time, our focus is on the next hurdle, the next accomplishment. And again, we will get it, whether it's small or whether it's big. And we don't even sit with it for a minute. We don't even absorb what just happened. We don't celebrate it at all. We are just immediately on to the next thing. And what that does, it really internally kind of diminishes our pride. It diminishes what actually occurred. So imagine you had a child, let's say a 4-year-old, 5-year-old child, heck, a 15-year-old child or a 20-year-old child, and they just did something really big. They just did something that they had worked hard on, that was hard, that they took pride in, and they're all excited about it. And they're like, Mom, Dad, I just did X. I just got an A on that test, or I just made this team, or I just, had a fight with a friend, but I was able to make up and save the friendship. And you just go, well, yeah, what about the next test? Well, what about the next fight? Like, you can almost just see their poor little faces just drop. Because you have just completely minimized what they did. You've almost just been dismissive of what they did and all of their hard work. Well, when you do that to yourself, that's exactly what you're doing. You've worked really hard, you've hyped yourself up, you've jumped that big hurdle, and you don't even take 3 seconds to go, that was kind of a big deal. Good job. Okay? Well, it's kind of hard to get hyped up for the next thing. For what? When you're just not even gonna pat yourself on the back, okay? And so that's one big reason. The second is when we don't acknowledge our wins, it can feel like things aren't working well. It can feel like all we have is one hurdle after another and we're not accomplishing anything. It's not working. When we take 3 seconds and just contemplate what was a win. Oh, actually, that was a win. It is working. It shifts our perspective. And our mindset is so important. And when we think that it's not working and what we're doing is never enough and it's just one hurdle after another, that's demoralizing. And it's exhausting. And it does start eating away at your self-esteem, which then makes jumping the next hurdle that much more difficult, okay? Go back to the kids. You just demoralized this kid. You just said, well, what about the next test? How are they approaching studying for the next test? Probably not with a whole lot of excitement. It's just another thing to do so that they don't get the crap beat out of themselves, verbally or emotionally, okay? Versus, oh my gosh, that's great. You did a great job. I'm so proud of you. Let's sit with that for a second. Let's celebrate that for a second. How do you feel? Aren't you proud of yourself? Okay. Then how are they going to approach the next hurdle, the next test? With a whole different mindset, with a whole different energy wave. And how do you think they're going to do on that next test? Probably better than if they approached it with, nothing I can do is ever going to be good enough. Why bother? Okay? We are doing this to ourselves. And you might be like, well, they're kids, we're adults. Okay. I coach a lot of adults. A lot of adults. I can tell you, we're all just a bunch of little children who want some approval. Okay? And here's the thing, we might not get it from people out there. We have to get it from ourselves. We have to be telling ourselves we're doing a good job. Not delusional, okay? Not addressing our issues, but patting ourselves on the back, being our own advocate, being our own best friend, being our own cheerleader. It also helps with the wins. It also helps to find gratitude. We forget. We're on every day to the next day. When we sit and say, what were my wins today? What were my wins this week? What were my wins this year? Then it helps us to be grateful. And, almost any personal development coach or writer talks about how vital gratitude is. And it really is. It really is. First of all, it just makes you feel better. Okay? It really does. And I can't explain it all, but those who are grateful, when I practice gratitude, when I say practice gratitude, that means just thank you. I get more. Okay? And when you don't even remember what happened, what you're happy for, what you're winning, you're not going to be grateful for it. Okay? So it might seem silly. It might feel a little silly, but even if just once a week, and we do it on Friday mornings, if you are an attorney, you're welcome to join Attorneys and Flat Fees if you're not a member already. Just sit for 5 seconds, go, okay, what was a win this week? Maybe it was a big week. Maybe your win is that you lived through the week. Huge win. Huge win. Sometimes just waking up the next morning is enough of a win. Okay? There are going to be storms in your life. It's not all going to be, rainbows. So getting through those hard times, just surviving, huge wins. Sometimes those are the biggest wins. Actually, I would argue those are the biggest wins. To be able to just get back up. Just get back up. Huge win. So whether you do it publicly or not, if you can just start practicing, and it is practice, at least once a week. And journaling really helps. If you can journal out some wins, really big deal. Will really help cement this practice and your gratitude. What was a win? And if you say nothing, I'm going to call BS. I'm going to call total bullshit. Again, even if it was that you didn't give up and you're still standing. Or maybe you're not even standing, maybe you're sitting down. Okay, you're still breathing. That's a win. You got another chance tomorrow. Okay? So that's the Friday wins, I would encourage you to start incorporating that into your own life and see how things go. See if it changes your mindset a little bit and how you feel about things. And if you like it, maybe, practice it with your kids or your employees. It might seem cheesy, but it actually does work. All right, take care, y'all.